Francis Dune Uncensored. So there was a lot of shit that went on last night in regards to the SatoshiVm team, Ape Terminal, and the influencers who were onboarded during the pre-sale. And I want to make this crystal clear, guys. To get to the bottom of all of this, you need to take a step back and don't get distracted with the jostling of verbal diarrhea. I value the facts, and the facts matter to me. And substance is what's important here. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be first looking at Lady of Crypto's tweets, and then we're going to take our way down to the on-chain data that was actually surprisingly presented to us from the Ape Terminal team. Okay, so let's get right to that here. So this is Lady of Crypto, and this came out about a day ago. Okay, now here's what she says. I have a bit of a crazy idea. I've seen a lot of talk about launchpads favoring whales. I hear you. So I thought, why not share my personal pre-sale allocation with you? She's a guardian angel. However, I don't control launchpads, so I need you to help me convince them of this idea. Here's how. Of course you control them. You're the one with the 500k followers. They are up under your bum, sniffing it. So let's just continue reading this. So I reached out to a few launchpads and asked if I could share my allocation with you, my community, but they need convincing. Sure, you just need attention. So we need to show them that there's huge demand for this. Drop this like, a retweet, and comment. There we go. If they see just how strong this community is, we might be able to make this happen. Now, I'm just going to stop right there. It's not even worth reading anymore, guys, because at the end of the day, you guys don't learn and you keep on being intellectually frauded by these individuals. Where was this philanthropy before the backlash took place? Where was this great idea when SatoshiVm approached you and said, hey, look, I got this project. I'll give you pre-sale. Come, let's talk about this. Let's pump it and let's make some money. Where was this crazy idea before? Why does it take you to present this when the results are out and your reputation is taking a hit? See what I'm saying? So all she's doing here is trying to save her reputation and intellectually fraud you guys once again, and people would fall for this because they think they're going to get into these pre-sales. Now, at the end of the day, let's just say this does follow through, because what we're noticing here is there's a lot of these launch pads. Look at this. So DAO makers coming. I don't know who they are. We got Pools Finance right there. And by the way, I was one of the seed investors of Pool Finance, and you know what I did? I actually got my community in with me in all of these pre-sales that I got in, because I know how it is. The little guy can't really get in, but now what she's doing is she's just coming up with this thing, spitting up a narrative for you guys to love her once again. And of course the launch pads are going to say, we approve, let's do it. No matter how many engagement you'll create, they will favor whales. Exactly. This guy knows exactly what he's saying. So at the end of the day, guys, all she's doing is trying to create an engagement. She's trying to save her rep. All I want to know is, where was that rhetoric before all of this went down? Where was this philanthropy before the results came out and before you started getting a lot of flack? That's all I want to know. And no matter what she does here, okay, the game is played like this. You get into these pre-sales, a specific amount of people, and then after that, they need to go to market to the larger people. The larger people comes and buy it. This happens across the board in all types of markets. When you look at the IPOs, that's how it is. This is just how early phase investments works. So you just need to understand the game that you're playing. Now, when we carry on to her other tweets, on her account here, what we're seeing here, we're noticing she's retweeting this guy, Mac. Ape Terminal says this, okay? Mac again. So she's obviously in cahoots with this individual, right? Why is she in cahoots with him? Because when you understand that how influencers are very similar to mainstream media, they need to persuade you. They need to manipulate you. They need to have you as a resource so they can extract the value out of your asses. That's how the game is played. So when influencers team up with other big influencers, that narrative could get spread across much faster, right? That's how the game works, sadly. So what we're seeing here now is Ape Terminal is being thrown under the bus by these two investors here. By these two influencers here. And it turns out that Mac guy is the owner of SatoshiVm, or he's very closely tied to the team. I know it's already known that he's an advisor, but he may be much more involved than what we give him credit for, and he might be the actual owner. So let's take a look at something else here. Now, here we go. The price is recovering, sure, but the price did take a hit here, okay? The price went down to about $6 and whatever it was, 28 cents. It once was at 10 or whatever, yeah, $10, and fell all the way to 6, and now it's slowly recovering. So what we're seeing here is we know this guy owns bags. Well, I'm going to show it to you guys that he actually sold about 5 million. I think it was more than that at the very beginning. But they both own bags of this particular token that crashed, okay? So, of course, they need to protect that because that's now a special interest. That's their portfolio going down the drain. And we're talking about hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars of what they own going down the drain. That's a big deal. So this is why they need to stick together. And they need to fool you in believing that they're doing something good for you. Very similar how the mainstream media works and operates. And sadly, crypto is turning into that. It's like the CNN, however you want to look at it. So that's that there. And also, you know, we could go down the list and it's not really much that they're showing other than just words. You know, her words, and that's it. Believe it, right? Retweet, believe it. Now, when we look at Ape Terminal on the other hand, and I'm not taking sides over here, I'm just calling it how I see it, really. I got no affiliation with either of the two. I didn't even own a token of SatoshiVm. I don't own a token of Ape Terminal. Well, they don't own a token right now. I think later on they might. I don't know Lady of Crypto. This is coming from a very unbiased opinion. And I'm just calling it the way I see it, man, based off of the actual evidence. And speaking of actual evidence, you know, Ape Terminal is giving us real substance to work with. So let's take a look at this documentation right here that says, why the FUD? SAVM founder KOL, named Mac KOL, I hate that term, liquidated 20 million plus with friends. We confronted them to pause. They chose to attack us, okay? So let's carry on. This is the documentation here. I was browsing through it. So Mac is the owner of SAVM, not the advisor apparently. And, you know, when you really think about this, the people that would actually know this are the people that was working with them at the early phases, right? Like a launchpad, right? And why do they go to the launchpads? Now, Ape Terminal had a very good reputation before this individual got involved here. And, you know, well, listen to what he says, not me. So Mac in a Telegram screenshot says, you know, this is him pretty much, you know, trying to get onboarded to Ape Terminal. And he says, token ticker SAVM, that's the wallet, address, chain ETH, total raise, up to you guys, right? Amount of tokens right there, percentage from total supply, 1%, vesting schedule, 100% unlocked. Now, as we carry on down here, it shows a little bit more about his handle. So we regret to have provided resources and exposure to SAVM, as it turns out it has become a means for Mac to harvest his community for 20 million plus in liquidations. Right here, I will get you the vesting today or tomorrow. We are not deciding for the bootstrapping round, likely around 45% liquid. Yes, we'll send amount correct. We don't care about how much we raise from Ape, just care about exposure and marketing. So let's send it. As I said, these influencers are out here to try to fool you and intellectually fraud you. He only cares about marketing, right? To get the word out. Once the word is out, then it takes on a life of its own. But nonetheless, here are the facts. Okay, so through an on-chain data on Mac, his team and his friends liquidated $20 million plus in SAVM. Now, we could click this, and this takes us to this Twitter account, which is Look On Chain. A wallet related to SatoshiVm team is selling SAVM. Wallet begins with that, ends with that. At the time, it was $4.7 million. Look at this. Then transferred 189,700 units of SAVM, which was 2.12. Well, yeah, this is what makes up the 4.7 over here. Okay, guys, to 24 other wallets, just chop it up, etc., etc. Now, what's very interesting to me is this. This was retweeted on January 24th at 4:41 p.m., announcing the return of the IDO fee done by Ape Terminal. Ape Terminal has returned the 25% fee of their IDO. A total of 52,000 SAVM has been returned to the SatoshiVm treasury. the SatoshiVm team will use this as vested grants to ecosystem projects that want to build on top of the SatoshiVm. And I believe that's what this transaction is right here. 52,450 was sent back to them, the SatoshiVm team, from Ape Terminal. Okay, and this is also the facts right here. On-chain data says that the SatoshiVm team did indeed sell this amount of tokens. So you be the judge of that. Now, when we go back to this individual's Twitter page of, trying to keep her bag strong, and when she sees her bags are getting weak over here, they got to point them, blame somebody for this, because now they're getting the backlash. And who is she supporting? The same guy who created the damn token. And he owns a shit ton, and he already sold. So all I'm saying right here is there's clearly a special interest from these individuals, these influencers, and now they're throwing Ape Terminal under the bus. And Ape Terminal has presented to us that how the facts and the substance lays on chain, and they have provided us with that actual transaction ID, and we must respect that, okay? So another thing I also want to say here is, when that Mac guy sold his 4.2 million, I know a lot of people are going to get jealous and say, oh my God, that's a lot of money. He's dumping. But let's be honest, the liquidity pool didn't really take a hit when that was taking place. As a matter of fact, it started to go up after. So, I think how people need to understand is everybody can't win when it comes into investing, right? How investing works is there are financial markets, and the way they operate is there are early phase funding, and you normally get at a cheaper price. And then after that, there's a round 2 normally and a round 3, and then they go live to the market. Everybody can't get in on the early phase. If everybody was to get in at the same price on the early phase, then it's just going to be a flat line graph. And that's not how this works. This also works in the real world with IPOs and other financial markets. So you need to understand it's not a big kumbaya, let's hold hands and everyone's going to go to the moon. That's not how it works. How it works is you need to seek the value before the rest of the market agrees it's valuable. Because at the end of the day, somebody's going to be left holding that bag, okay? And that's how investments work. That's why you have a graph that goes up. Somebody needs to buy, somebody needs to sell. 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 That's how it works. So this whole notion of, getting the community in is all great and all, but I don't think that's going to fix the problem. That may just temporarily fix her reputation, and that's what she's trying to fix with her crazy idea in my arse. So don't be intellectually frauded. You're smarter than that. And I also wanted to say this. To me, this is just regular crypto shit, man. This is nothing strange here. This is regular crypto stuff. There's a divide. One half says this, the other half says that. Fair comes into the market, and then tokens dump. That is regular crypto sentiment, and this is something that we're always used to. All I see, this is going to be a forgotten memory, just like many other situations like this were. And Ape Terminal is going to launch coins. They're going to ban coin. SatoshiVm, who knows what's going to happen with that. All I would say is, look, I hope they continue and they actually build something here. But at the end of the day, I don't think I'm going to really be touching it. Not because I don't believe they're going to be building. It's just it has too much bad blood and a gray cloud over it. And for me personally, I'm just going to look for a better opportunity to enter into that. I'm all for Bitcoin rollups, all for Bitcoin layer 2s, all for ordinals, BRC20s, what have you. And there's just too much greed in this project for me. And I'm not going to really be touching it. And I didn't even get into it. I mean, it did dip at $6 or whatever. I thought about entering, but at the end of the day, I'm going to just seek out another opportunity. And there's going to be tons of it. And there also needs to be a new way to approach these early phase investments for the retailer. And I hope somebody comes up with that solution. Maybe that might be your boy over here. Who knows? I think IDOs, the way they conduct it is not in a transparent way. And hopefully that changes. And we'll see if that actually comes to fruition. So that's all I have for you guys. So you know what? There ain't really much stuff to say other than till the next video. You're on your own. Later. Francis Dune, Uncensored.